General Hospital spoilers teasing that Michael Corinthos's world is about to be upended by a whisper of the impossible, a fleeting glimpse of his brother, Morgan Corinthos, alive and roaming the corridors of the German clinic where Michael recovers. As these revelations unfold, Michael reaches out to Jason Morgan with urgent questions that lead Jason to journey to Europe in secret. In two sweeping sections, Part 1 exploring Michael's alarming discovery and the clandestine call to Jason, and Part 2 chronicling Jason's covert investigation, the shocking confirmation of Morgan's survival, and the heartrending truth behind Morgan's disappearance, we'll delve into every detail, every nuance, and every emotional beat to weave a continuous, dramatic narrative worthy of Port Charles's most unforgettable episodes. The call from Germany and the hint of a lost brother. Michael Corinthos woke each morning to the antiseptic tang of the German clinic's corridors, the hum of distant monitors, and the lilt of a language he had yet to master. His heart still bore the scar tissue of bullet wounds and near-fatal trauma, but it was his mind that wrestled with deeper uncertainties in the wake of his departure from Port Charles. Carly's tearful wishes for his speedy recovery echoed in his ear, and Willow's determination to stand by him, though thwarted by the clinic staff who barred her entry, anchored him to home. Yet nothing could have prepared him for the surreal moment when a figure slipped past his partially open door, a glance, a shadow, a human silhouette that felt instantly, and impossibly, familiar. It was late afternoon when Michael dialed Jason Morgan from the clinic's landline, his voice taut with urgency. "Jason, this is Michael. I need you to listen carefully. Last night, I thought I saw Morgan." On the other end of the line, Jason's coffee cup trembled in his hand. He had steeled himself for calls from Michael, updates on Willow's thwarted visit, progress reports on recovery, requests for family news. But Morgan Corinthos, presumed dead in the car explosion years ago, had been awound too raw for talk of reunions. "Michael," Jason replied, voice low, "Morgan's gone." "Michael, you must be mistaken." Yet Michael's tone brooked no doubt. "It wasn't a dream, Jason. I saw him, young, leaner, but without a doubt my brother. He passed my door at midnight. I tried to call out, but he vanished around the corner." Jason closed his eyes, recalling the carnage of that fateful morning when his car pod exploded, leaving no body to identify. "Michael, let's back up. Why did you call me? I thought you were asking about Willow's visit." He steered the conversation with practiced calm. Jason, protector, strategist, the man who could turn chaos into plan. Michael, vulnerable but unwavering, fighting to piece together his life. "Yes," Michael continued, "about Willow, she came all the way here to see me, but the staff wouldn't let her in. I want to know who's blocking her. And now, this." His voice cracked. "Jason, I need you to come to Germany, quietly. Find out who stopped Willow, and tell me if what I saw was real." Jason inhaled deeply. The thought of revealing such news to Carly, her heart still convalescing, terrified him. He refused to ignite her anguish prematurely. "Understood. I'll book a flight tonight. Keep this to yourself, Michael. I'll handle it." After the call ended, Michael stared at the receiver, torn between elation and dread. His breath came in rapid, hopeful bursts, Morgan alive, Willow barred, Jason en route. The threads of his world were unraveling. And he had no choice but to let the tapestry fall apart. Across the Atlantic, Jason Morgan's preparations were swift and silent. He arranged false credentials under the guise of a private security consultant, slipped a duffel bag with essentials into the trunk of the black van he'd borrowed, and boarded a red-eye without comment. As the plane lifted off, Jason stared at the city lights of Port Charles disappearing below, steeling himself for the mission ahead, unmask the gatekeeper who denied Willow entry, and confirm whether Michael's vision of Morgan was midst of a dream or an earth-shattering reality. Shadows in the hallway and a secret of Morgan's fate. Berlin's airport was a labyrinth of steel and glass, a world away from Port Charles. Jason navigated customs with a passport in the name of Simon Keller, courtesy of his connections, and emerged into the chill night air. He hailed a taxi to the obscure clinic Michael had described. A tall, sterile building emblazoned simply as the International Neuropsychiatric Institute. Inside, Jason switched on his trademark intensity. He ventured down corridors carpeted in muted blues, past rooms labeled in German, and noted security cameras angled at every turn. Staff moved like phantoms, faces stoic, uniforms crisp. He intercepted a passing nurse and asked in halting German about visitor logs, then slipped into an empty office to access the clinic's digital directory. Meanwhile, Michael lay in bed, torn between hope and guilt. He replayed the moment he glimpsed Morgan. Was it a trick of the light? A projection of his longing? The rumble of Jason's arrival put his nerves on edge, yet comforted him with the promise of answers. Jason's first objective was simple: find the sign-in sheet for Willow. He discovered inconsistencies: her name scrubbed from electronic records, her messages never forwarded. He located the security post's roster and identified a name: Dr. Ingrid Kohler, head of patient relations, had personally denied his daughter entry. Murphy's Law dictated she'd be the same person obstructing him from seeing Morgan. He stalked the hallway outside Michael's room late that evening, keen senses alert. A door down the corridor cracked open, and through the sliver of light, he saw a figure step out, tall, familiar gait, shoulders straight. The silhouette matched Michael's description: dark hair, lean build, a pallor of someone emerging from recovery. Jason's breath caught. There was no mistaking the outline of Morgan Corinthos. He followed silently, heart hammering. Rounding the corner, he saw Morgan's face in the dim glow of the nurse's station radio. They looked up, startled. For a heartbeat, father and son locked eyes across 2 continents of secrets and years of absence. Morgan? Jason whispered, voice hoarse. The younger Corinthos paused, recognition and fear warring in his gaze. He stepped back as though to flee, then hesitated. Jason watched as Morgan reached up, fingers trembling, to brush his lips, then turned and vanished into a nearby supply closet. Jason hurried forward, opening the door to find empty crates and boxes. He sifted through files until he uncovered a patient chart labeled M. Corinthos, birthdate confirmed. His eyes widened. Morgan Corinthos had been admitted under an alias for a private regimen of psychiatric treatment. Bipolar disorder, the notes read, managed with the latest therapies, electroconvulsive sessions, medication titrations, strict isolation to protect both patient and family. It was no accident that Morgan's car exploded, it was a carefully timed ruse. Those behind it had wanted the entire Corinthos clan convinced of Morgan's death, so he could slip into treatment without fanfare. His disappearance had preserved his safety, avoiding any risk of stigma or betrayal among old enemies. Jason's mind raced. He now faced a choice: reveal Morgan's survival and shatter his family's fragile equilibrium, or honor Morgan's plea for secrecy and allow him the space to heal. But first, he had to deliver tangible assurance to Michael, and to find Willow's advocate who had blocked her. He cornered Dr. Kohler in her office under the pretense of an inspection. Her calm veneer cracked when Jason produced his badge. "You barred my daughter," he said, voice cold. "Why?" She swallowed, eyes darting. "That patient," she nodded toward Michael's room, "is highly fragile. We received orders from higher up to limit all contact. It's for his own stability." Jason pressed. "Who gave the order? Carly Spencer?" Dr. Kohler shook her head. "No. It was requested by Mr. Corinthos himself, on behalf of his brother. He fears any emotional upheaval could set back his treatment." The revelation stunned Jason. Michael, convinced he was protecting Willow, had actually asked for the barrier to shield himself from emotional extremes, unknown to him that the man in question was not Michael's only brother but Morgan. With that piece in place, Jason contacted Michael's bedside. He explained every detail. Willow's denial arose from Michael's own request, rooted in his yearning for stability, and there was indeed a second Corinthos alive, hidden for treatment. Michael's pulse quickened. Relief warred with grief. Morgan had chosen exile to conquer his demons. The 2 men spoke in hushed tones, mapping out the next steps. Jason shared Morgan's location and the sensitive chart. Michael's voice trembled as he processed Morgan's sacrifice, faking death and abandoning his family to safeguard his mental health. Meanwhile, Morgan emerged at dawn, finding Jason waiting in the corridor. "I know you know, now," Jason began. "Why did you disappear?" Morgan's eyes glistened. "I had to get better. I didn't want my family to see me at my worst. I watched, every day, I watched from shadows, how life moved on here. I saw Carly cry at my funeral, saw Michael's nightmares. I thought I was saving them pain." Jason reached out. "You saved yourself. But you also broke their hearts. It's time to bring you home." Morgan shook his head. "Not yet. I have more work here, my therapy's not done. And Jason, and Michael, please, keep this to yourselves for now. I need a few more weeks." Jason nodded, respect and sorrow mingling in his gaze. "Your secret is safe with us. When you're ready, we come back together." As Jason departed Germany with Michael's blessing, a delicate balance held firm. Port Charles remained blissfully unaware of Morgan's survival, Michael learned the truth behind his own barriers, and Morgan continued his path toward recovery. Yet the promise of reunion shimmered on the horizon. In General Hospital, family bonds are tested by life and death, by secrets and sorrow. But hope endures, because in Port Charles, the blood that binds also heals. The Corinthos brothers, once thought separated by fate, now share a future of secrets kept and love rediscovered. The question remains, when Morgan returns home, how will his family receive the man he's become? Tune in this Tuesday to witness the next chapter of this extraordinary saga, where truth is the greatest cure of all.